His name, Merlin.
What's going on, knights, sorcerers, sorceresses, enchantresses, enchantressai, lords, ladies, and all assortments across the land of Ambion, and welcome back to Merlin Weekly, where this time we're talking about episode 11 from season 3, The Sorcerer's Shadow, where because of the themes kind of being similar to probably one of my all-time favorite movies of the year, I'm not going to use any original music that could be tied to the name of the episode, but music tied to similar themes.
Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, daylight, we like fast cars.
The Sorcerer's Shadow. I want to go over everything like I want to. I really do. But this time, I'm going to be using similarities towards many different properties that kind of made me feel like this is a story that has been told time and time again without any of us really recognizing it while watching Merlin. The story involves a young would-be sorcerer but has magical abilities, so he's magical in nature, of Gilly trying to enter an open tournament within Camelot, trying to prove his own worth and find out why his father rejected magic even though he had a ring from the old religion. Merlin watches this, while at the same time in the B plot, Arthur is entering the tournament alongside his father, who's been goaded by Morgana, where hijinks ensue on both accounts, and so many different elements decide to go underway as we enter into probably the most heavily influential episodes that I'm pretty sure reshape a lot of mentalities throughout the series going forward. Firstly, let's focus on the A plot from the Merlin/Gilly perspective. In this action, I felt like it was related to two different properties that come from Marvel/Disney, now that it's kind of owned the Fox and other sort of label stuff. So Disney's interpretation of Marvel and all the other stuff like that makes any sense? First thing being of the X-Men variety of seeing it from the perspective of Professor X and Magneto. Why do I say this exactly? Well, since the acquisition from Fox, now meaning I can now use this analysis, here's the first branch of it. During the entire A plot, while Merlin is now finally reaching towards Gilly, he's caught up in the crossfires of trying to expose his kin to those of people that will not understand him. Being in the same realm as those from people in the movies, TV shows, and comics from the X-Men variety that hate mutants and want them dead, seeing as how being mutant is something to be frowned upon, and also being a crime. In that whole same vein, when Gilly and Merlin finally confront one another, it's almost as if you're watching two leaders from different perspectives trying to duke out idealisms towards one another rather than fighting through actual actions. Something no other magical being has done towards Merlin and probably will never do since. It's one of those climactic things that hit me on that first front, but also hit me in ways that I had similar feelings while watching the Black Panther movie as of last month. Now again, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this. Well, here I am watching Merlin being the pacifist trying to forego any sort of thing involving a killing action towards the king of Uther. Everyone knows Uther deserves to die 7 ways to Sunday all throughout every single account. But he's oftentimes trying to restrain himself from what should be a righteous action, because if Arthur were to see him die magically, his own heart would resolve to be, fuck everything to do with magic, I am done, my father was right, this is not how I want my kingdom ran. With that being the same vein, you can understand why his mentality is the way it is, sort of like how T'Challa was trying to follow through with just the traditions of his father, trying to make sure that he kept everything secretive at the cost of many different things being forestalled and whatnot, but eventually trying to find a balanced medium so that his people can at least have balance in the shadows. However, unlike T'Challa, who eventually was able to have everything forego to be publicized, that's the only ideal for Merlin at this specific point in time. magic is outlawed. That is going to be a factor for a while now. That is something he cannot change. However, Gilly's actions reminisce a lot from Killmonger. He's trying to enact a vengeance upon the man that has slaughtered his people, kind of like how Killmonger was so angry at Wakanda for not helping the brothers and sisters that are in America that were taken there as slaves from not only their own people selling them off, but also from colonizers. It's that same ideology that kind of gets you in that same state of mind of, where is this truly going? Where is this coming from? How can you honestly dissect all of this and not get a sense of something's amiss here? And it feels very similar in ways that I'm kind of unsure how to process. And I think that's what the Sorcerer's Shadow tried to make people feel in the same span of, sure, we've had people come in, try to raise all this hell, and try to act all villainous for the sake of being villainous at the cost of everything, knowing what they're doing going forward. But we've never seen a villain that is very sympathetic because, although he's allowing the corruption to slowly get towards him, it's from a place of trying to prove that people of his same ilk, his same kind and kin, do not need to be in the shadows, do not need to be ridiculed into being pariah or these targets. They should be recognized for what they're capable of. They should be honored, and they shouldn't have to fight for this, but if they have to, they will, even if it means striking down someone at the cost of everything. That is kind of why, when I was watching this, I remembered why this was the pivotal episode that honestly made me really want to dive forward more into Merlin as the seasons went forward, and even try to backpedal to see all the things of Merlin's progression up to this point. From being this one obnoxious kid that didn't know what he wanted to do or how he wanted to do it, to now almost being the merry wizard of legend, although his myths and legends are now very muddled, so the source material is kind of iffy. But in that same regard, yes, this is how I view the entire thing involving the Sorcerer's Shadow, where it's probably one of the top 5 best episodes of the whole series for myself. I can analyze this as professionally as possible, at the same time trying to make my own commentary and jokes while watching it, because even though it's pretty good, there are very stupid moments. Mostly Morgana's plan, because now it sets up for Arthur to get the crown in the 2-parter coming up soon. Which is why there will not be a Merlin episode next week. It'll instead be consolidated into the 2-parter, which will be its entire full-length episode after I watch both the episodes and then have it pre-recorded for you guys in 2 weeks. So I'll see you all then.